Hello.
Hello, everyone.
It really feels like you were just here, Matt Steele.
Because I was. And I'm so nervous because every week on the podcast, we're like, what did you do this week? And we, say random things. But me, I'm just like, I just prepared for Midnights.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like people don't understand the mental and emotional preparation and calm down from one of those live streams.
It's the come down.
It's the come down.
Like after we turn this camera off, going live for the regular podcast, we are exhausted.
Yes.
But after like a live reaction where there's like 11,000 of you in the live chat.
It wasn't 11,000. It was 1,400 though.
It was 1,400, but like I think like total there were like
11,000 different people during the 2 hours
who came and went.
Yes.
And we were tired.
We were very tired. I was up late editing that video.
Would you say you were up at midnight?
I mean, yes, I was up because I was up when the 3 a.m. tracks dropped and I was like, ugh. And I was like, I'm ignoring these because we've already filmed Matt Steele's across the city already. Good night, Taylor.
Good night, Taylor. Would you write a song about how you were up so late editing this video?
No.
Okay.
Not song worthy. Sorry.
Taylor would.
I bet she would.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another 2 Gay Matts podcast. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And another week has gone by. We don't know what we did besides listen to Taylor Swift, but Matt Steele, think back into the Rolodex of your memory. Or Matt Palmer. Think back into the... This is how fucked up I am mentally after this album release, okay? I'm calling Matt Palmer Matt Steele. This is like Call Me By Your Name.
Kind of. But
it's very romantic.
I don't foresee that for us, but yes, over the course of this week, it was a lot of build up for, if you don't know, if you're just listening to the podcast, you're like, what are you guys talking about? We did a live album reaction to Taylor Swift's new album, Midnights. It's up on our YouTube channel, and lots of people joined it. Lots of people watched. Thank you if you have watched. We really appreciate it. And so there was a lot of build up for that, a lot of come down for that, a lot of editing for that. I took Friday off. So Friday during the day, I woke up, I went back to bed. I woke up, I got lunch, got a coffee, and did so little, and it was lovely. That night, Jackson's cousin, who's at USC, had a sketch comedy show that we went to, and then we went out with him and found a restaurant. It was hard to find a restaurant that wasn't secretly a bar, and they're like, is everyone 21? And it's like, no. This cousin's 19. Well, he can't get in.
I was about to be like, you, sir...
Yes, they asked me if I was 21, and it was a sad time for them. No. So yes, the cousin, not old enough. But then yesterday, it was Saturday. We went to a friend had just moved into a new house they are renting, a couple friend we have. And so we went to that couple's house. Then we went to our friend Janie's house. She had some people over the last evening. And then today, we were going to have a friend over. Joe was going to come over, but then he got a headache. And then he was like 3 hours later, like, can I still come over? And I was like, we'll just do something some other time.
I'm tired.
And so today was very lazy. I feel like I am just now becoming a full human again. And I'm happy to be back on Earth, back to being grounded, back to having a world that's not 100% revolving around Taylor Swift. And Matt Steele, how are you? How was your week?
My week was fine. Yeah. Again, I went to the cinema twice. It's like Tuesdays and Wednesdays have become my movie days.
That's fun.
That I like designate for myself.
Yeah.
Especially because like the Oscar season is rolling out and some amazing things are coming out. So I went to the movies and we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Again, came here, listened to Taylor Swift and squawked about it with all y'all for several hours and had a really fun time. And then Friday, I went to my friend Lauren's. Me and her and our friend Megan, we hung out. We caught Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh,
we got into the holiday spirit. Really enjoyed that.
Glad you
liked
liked
some
that.
pizza. I haven't had pizza in a long time because I had like 6 slices.
Oh.
And I was feeling it the next day.
Why haven't you had pizza in a long time?
I don't know. Well, it's LA. There isn't much pizza around.
I mean, there's the Papa John's right up the street.
I said pizza, not fake pizza.
That pizza's wonderful. It's what I grew up on. And I know we don't like the Papa John, but I think he's been, removed from office. So it's just his name. It's not his personhood.
Yeah, we were reminiscing about the time that Taylor Swift's face was on a Papa John's box to promote Red. And what random promotion.
It was random.
But hey, those pizzas were bought and so was that album.
Hey,
so
that's the thing.
It worked.
If we learned anything this week, it's that Taylor Swift knows how to sell an album. Should we jump into the first news for idiots?
That is a segue, darling.
I mean, there's no other way to talk about it. But Taylor Swift's Midnights is off to a record-breaking start in the U.S. According to initial reports, the album, which was released on October 21st, has sold more than 800,000 copies in the U.S. through its first day across all available formats, multiple digital album downloads, CD, vinyl, and cassette variants. It's already logged the largest sales week for an album since 2017 and is the top-selling album of 2022. Year to date has set a modern era record for single-week vinyl album sales.
Woo! The fact that an album in 2022 is able to sell over 1 million like unit equivalents, whatever, I don't know how it works.
Right.
You know more about that. Is really mind blowing.
And as much as we made fun of her for those damn clocks, because it is funny, it is funny. The fact that she was selling 4 vinyls that you had to purchase along with the clock parts.
Damn.
How many Swifties out there were like, I'm getting all 4 vinyls.
Yes.
I'm pre-ordering them and they're going to get here and be counted the day of this album release. And it's going to go towards her first week sales of 1 million plus.
It's like one sale essentially equaled 4.
Yes.
Like that is like cheating in the best way possible. Like it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I'm so glad a lot of kids out there now are going to be able to tell time, but I don't know. All 4 of those vinyls with that clock thing, that's crazy. But hey, girl, whatever makes you happy.
And I'm like, if I were a parent and my child was like, I must buy all 4 of these vinyls and get the clock parts, please, Dad, can I get it? I'm like, would I say yes to that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because that's like $150 altogether,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you know who doesn't need any more money? Taylor Swift. I'm like, girl, I'm paying for your Spotify. Listen to that. I'll buy you a clock.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we will be, when, like, we are the fathers and we have the children who love the Taylor Swifts of 20 years from now or whatever. Like, and they will be like, Dad, I want this pop diva. I need to buy 4 of her albums so I can put a clock on my wall. Like, we will be such hypocrites if we're like, no, that's ridiculous.
Whoa.
Because we know what it's like to love our pop girlies.
I do, but I never bought 4 vinyls. I didn't buy like $100 worth of merchandise just to put a clock together for Mariah back in my day. I put a VCR and a VHS tape in the VCR, recorded Breakdown off of MTV Live, and called it a day.
It was much easier to get stuff because you were able to record stuff on your VHS.
Right. And I
know?
mean, I guess I will have to see. You gotta, we'll see how I feel when I get there. At this point, it seems like a lot. But if you're an adult, like some, friends of ours in the Discord, and you're an adult buying this for yourself, more power to you. Use your money as you would like to.
You earned that money.
You did.
So you spend that money, baby.
But the children who didn't earn that money are the ones that were really on trial tonight.
I think about it like it's like I had 2 different sets of all 5 Spice Girl dolls. Like there were different sets of Spice Girl dolls. And so when I was little, it's like I had like the one set and then there was another set. And I was like, ooh, like I would love this set too. It's like, I wonder how much they were. And my mother, I imagine, is on the live chat right now. So thinking back to then, Mother, thank you so much for those
kind.
Spice Girl dolls. They are still in those boxes, by the way.
Really?
In pristine condition.
You should sell them.
I'm not selling my Spice Girl dolls.
I feel like the 2 options are open them and play with them, or keep them together and sell them. What use is it to keep them in their boxes?
Do you really think my option now is to open them and play with them?
Well,
like,
no,
do you think
not,
that's what I'm going to do?
Not now, but back in the day. I just don't understand, why are you keeping them as collector's items just to like look at them in a box?
Well, because like in the box is a part of the collector item. Like to not take it out of the box is like a thing to do.
Oh.
Like you don't like, I'm not like an action figure collector or whatever, but like a big thing they do is like they keep it in the box. Like that ups its value, I believe. Or
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's why you would sell it.
My children will sell them when I die, and they'll be worth so much money.
I think by the time you die, people are going to be like, who the fuck are the Spice Girls?
They will absolutely
That's
not.
how life goes.
No.
We must all admit that time goes on.
Maybe I do fully intend to die when I'm like 150 plus.
That's
so
too old.
maybe we will be so far in the future that they will be like, huh, Spice Girls. I've heard of them.
I've heard of them. So Taylor Swift also dropped a very special, very chaotic surprise, which was the 3 a.m. version that everyone in our YouTube comments has been reminding us about. So 7 additional tracks were added to the 13 tracks on the standard edition, and they went up on streaming. The songs are The Great War, Better Than the Whole Sky, Paris, High Infidelity, Glitch, Would've, Could've, Should've, and Dear Reader. Of these songs, which of the ones are the ones you said are worth their salt, should be on the album?
The 2 that I think could definitely make the album are definitely The Great War.
Yeah.
I think I really love the melody. I like how it builds. I think it's great. And it feels classic in a sort of way.
Yeah.
And also Would've, Could've, Should've.
Yeah,
'Cause I mean, it's It's drama, baby.
It is very specific.
And it's great.
And it's great. And the people can put the pieces together as to who we're talking about, which midnight we're talking about.
Yes.
And I think that is the one that I'm like, I would have liked to hear this on the album.
Yeah,
for sure.
especially because like she essentially reveals like, this is when I, lost it.
Which,
and
if you listen to Dear John, you could have assumed.
But also people had questions about the red scarf. So was it John or was it Jake? We don't know.
We know now.
I guess we know now. But the
now.
thing is, it's like, I'm surprised she didn't put it on the album. A, because it's great. And B, because like you would think she would want to put it on because like that's more drama. That gets more people to listen to the regular album.
Well, maybe she's saving for Dear John 10-minute version when Speak Now. Taylor's version comes
now
out.
Now that we know what we know,
I mean,
that Dear John 10-minute version is going to be incredible.
That would be something. Yeah.
I do also like Paris.
I like that in High Infidelity, she keeps singing My Fucking Birthday.
I know. What happened on your birthday?
I don't even know. I'm like listening through. I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, April 29th. What are we talking about? I'm invested. So I appreciated that very much.
Yeah, I did like High Infidelity as well. Paris and High Infidelity.
Yeah,
like,
Paris is nice.
Yeah,
Paris
if they were both on the album, I'd be like, okay, this is fine on the album as well.
The only two that I'm like, I never needed to hear this were Dear Reader and Glitch.
Glitch, we're doing something different.
We're doing something different.
But B-side. B-side, bonus, deluxe 3 a.m. edition.
Sure.
Works. And Bigger Than the Whole Sky.
Nice.
Fine, nice. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that's our feelings on the 3 a.m. track. She released a first music video from the album. She released Anti-Hero. This featured John Early, who plays her gay son in the future at her at her funeral, which is very funny. But it's, I think that is cute and good and does, and is fine. But I am wondering if it's a full visual album at this point or if there are just several music videos already in the can that are going to be rolling out in the coming weeks. Because it didn't feel like... I think even from the trailer, it didn't feel like we were telling a singular story like a Lemonade. Mm-hmm. But I also just am not thinking that there are visuals for every single song. But you never know.
You never know. I mean, she has surprised us before and she will surprise us again.
It's very, very true.
The fact that she dropped a bomb 3 hours after the album came out. It's like we couldn't even have 12 hours to breathe, Taylor. You're going to drop 3 a.m. on us? How dare you?
I mean, I'm very excited to see what Laura Dern is doing in these visuals.
Right?
Because she is credited as a part of the Taylor Swift visual component.
I could see her playing an older Taylor, like Taylor in the future, or maybe Taylor's mother.
Yes. Everyone stay tuned because Midnights is just starting. And it also broke the record for Spotify's most album streams in a single day. Just she's really doing good.
It's just when you think is Taylor Swift still the biggest thing?
Yes.
It's she's released so much Folklore, then Evermore, and then Red Taylor's version. We're tired.
Yeah.
Nope, people aren't tired.
No, I guess they're not tired.
They're looking at that clock.
Yes.
And they're just time for new Taylor, baby.
Yes, they're waiting till the next Midnight comes out. All right, so moving on from Miss Swift, congratulations to her and all her success this week. Very, very impressive stuff. I feel like one day we won't talk about Olivia Wilde and her and Don't Worry Darling and Jason Sudeikis, all of this, but the nanny has gone to the press.
The nanny.
And it's always the nanny, which by the way, I feel for the nanny and on one hand, because it does sound like it was a very problematic environment to work in. Apparently, Jason Sudeikis allegedly threw himself under Olivia Wilde's car to prevent her from leaving to visit Harry Styles, their former nanny claims. Sudeikis found out about Wilde and Styles from an Apple Watch she left behind. Wilde made a salad for Styles when she wanted to leave. Sudeikis laid down under her car so she couldn't leave. Sudeikis spends his nights drinking and bitching to the nanny. Nanny has a bunch of texts to prove all of this. Sudeikis fired the nanny late at night when he was drunk and discovered that the nanny was texting with Olivia. It just seems like there's a lot going on in that home.
There's a lot. You know what I feel like this could be?
Huh.
You know how a big thing now is to do a reboot, but a darker version of the reboot?
Sure.
This could be the dark reboot of The Nanny.
That's the thing. We got to get Fran Drescher on the line.
Oh, yeah.
Or they were going to reboot it. There was a rumor going around that Cardi B was going to be the nanny.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I would love it if Cardi B was the nanny, but it was also dramatic, and she won the Emmy for actress in a drama.
I mean, I don't know that I want Cardi B to be having more fun on set than having to deal with traumatic famous people.
All right, well, here's my vision. Everything around Cardi B is dramatic, but Cardi B is like the singular funny thing happening. And she's just like, what the hell is going on?
All right, I'd watch that.
As like Riverdale is happening around her.
Hey.
I think that'd be funny as
You
hell.
got to pitch that. Get in the room where it happens. Tell them, because it's not bad. The rumor is the nanny wasn't paid for the interview, which doesn't make sense to me.
Huh, really?
Jason and the nanny were stunned when paparazzi photos of Harry and Olivia at a wedding appeared on January 6th. Olivia gave away her dog, Corden, within weeks of dating Harry. We have to find Corden a new home, she said nonchalantly. Jason and Olivia only had the dog for appearances anyway and rarely cared for him. It's just like, this goes on and on and on. And it's like, these people just need to be separate. Let's just have them be separate. Let's get those kids in a stable environment.
Let's get Corden a home.
Let's get Corden a home.
I think I did hear that an update on Corden, that Corden was in a loving home.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
This is very Housewives of Beverly Hills when Dorit had to give back Lucy Applejuice, who was adopted from Vanderpump Dogs. And that was a season-long drama that ended with LVP leaving this franchise.
I'm sorry. Lucy Applejuice.
Lucy Applejuice. And it should be Lucy Applejuicy, right? Like, why? We as Bravo fans were always like, why juice? It doesn't even fucking rhyme. Like, we were mad at the name. But then it was like, did Lisa Vanderpump like plant stories about this to Radar Online to make Dorit look bad? The ladies turned on her, and she's never been seen again.
Wow. Oh, Lucy. That has to be Cardi B's dog's name in the funny / dramatic reboot of The Nanny.
Yes.
Yes, Lucy Applejuice.
Never forget. You know what? Never forget that. Apparently, James Corden is a piece of shit.
Oh my God!
Has he come into your restaurant? Is the question.
No, I am unscathed by James Corden's what's it called, waiter treatment, but other people are not apparently.
It's true. Apparently, Keith McNally, an NYC restaurateur who owns several places, has taken to Instagram to inform the public that James Corden is banned from his restaurants after his continued mistreatment of the staff. He called him a tiny cretin of a man. That Corden would be an asshole and then demand free drinks for his troubles. I also believe that James Corden then called this guy, the owner of all these restaurants, apologized, and then Keith McNally went back to Instagram being like, James Corden called me and apologized. He's welcome anytime. So he can come back and be an asshole. And I think James Corden has come out about it saying like, I don't apologize for anything I did.
So did he apologize or did he not?
It seems like he apologized privately to this man, but stands by his behavior and feels like, there are two worlds. No one's thinking about this in real life, but on Twitter, I'm getting eaten alive. And it's like, it's not a lot to ask that you treat people not like an asshole.
Well, I don't know if he's like, it's so much him standing by his behavior. I think it's more so him trying to pretend like this behavior never existed.
Right.
This person's lying. So, guys, who knows what's true? All I have to say is I'm relieved that there is finally, apparently, a reason to dislike James Corden. Because for years, I've been like, why do people dislike him so vehemently on social media? Like, I don't get it. What has he done? He hasn't done anything to anybody. But now at least there's an alleged story. I don't know if it's true, but at least there's something.
I think it was probably overexposure.
Sure.
People didn't like that his segment beating Beyonce Homecoming at the Emmys or whatever.
Well, we are always forever mad at anyone who beats Beyonce.
Absolutely. Right? Adele 25, looking at you.
Look, Adele's mad at herself.
I mean, as she should be. I'm blaming the album, not Adele herself. I think it was mostly just overexposure. Every time you went to see a movie musical, he'd pop up and people would, just get a little agitated. Overexposure is a real thing.
Overexposure, people do get mad about overexposure,
yes.
But then 8 years after the fact, people go, you know what, we were wrong. We shouldn't have been like Anne Hathaway.
I know.
In 2012, the big thing was to hate Anne Hathaway, and then 8 years later, the big thing now is to be like, I never disliked Anne Hathaway. I thought it was horrible how people were hating her for no reason. It's like, shut up. You were probably just as vocal as all those other people who were hating on her.
It's true.
But now you just realize that maybe we shouldn't just hate people just because they're overexposed.
I don't think in 8 years people are going to be feeling bad about James Corden. I don't. I think that's an arc for people ladies who have been mistreated.
Okay.
James is fine.
The Anne Hathaway is the Jennifer Lawrence.
Absolutely.
For a bit was people thought she was overexposed, so they
Yes.
just hated her for no reason. And she's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah, so I don't foresee that for James, but hey, prove me wrong. I could
Okay.
see it happening. In news that's very exciting for the people that come on the live chat recordings of this podcast, Rihanna's it's been reported by Hits Daily Double that Rihanna has recorded 2 original songs that are set to be included on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack. This is exciting for a million reasons. Obviously, we're excited Rihanna's back with new music. Hopefully, this is going to be involved in her Savage Fenty show and maybe even the Super Bowl. But also, we have an insider in the chat who told us about this weeks prior, and it is coming to fruition. So, Jay, if you're out there, you got the tea, babe.
You got the tea.
And we appreciate it.
We love you. And we are so excited for future Academy Award winner Rihanna.
Hello?
Oh, I mean, come on. Like, I'm sure both songs will be fucking amazing.
I can't wait.
And I just worry that, like, what if they both, like, split the vote?
I feel like you just got to submit one. That was the Dreamgirls issue. They submitted all of those original songs.
All those songs.
Not even Patience. Why would you submit Patience? It's bad. They should have done Listen. I don't think Rihanna will make that mistake. She saw Beyonce before her.
She's very savvy.
Very savvy.
Rihanna, if you're out there listening to 2 Gay Mats, just submit one. Submit the best one.
Savage X Fenty. It should be Savvy X Fenty. Am I right?
Listen to that too.
Carrie Underwood says that it is upsetting to her when singers can't hit their notes and when they change keys what was the word? Deflating. When singers can't hit their notes or when they change keys in their performances. Her quote is, "I love to sing. I've always taken pride in the work I've put in my vocals. I do want to sound good growing up and going to concerts or seeing my favorite artists on TV. If they didn't sound like they were supposed to sound, it was always so deflating. I'd lose respect for them. Or when I'd go to a concert and hear them drop keys, I was like, you can't hit the notes. Why'd you record them if you can't sing them? That stuff is important to me." I have a few things to say about this.
Okay.
I feel that everyone feels this way when they are vocally very capable. No one can fight age. There will come a day where Carrie Underwood has been singing her fucking face off for decades at a time, in which she's going to need to lower Before Sheets or Inside Your Heaven or whatever the fuck she sings at her concerts. It's just like, we all feel like this is how everything should be, except for the fact that, like, time doesn't matter. Aging is not going to be like, well, if you work hard enough and you do everything perfectly, like at a certain age is just going to catch up to you. Like you will not going to sound the way you sounded at 25, at 21. And we should stop expecting, especially these big belting pop divas, to do that. Cause it's like, none of the artists that are out now can sing like that. None of you can sing like Mariah on her worst day today. All the girls out now couldn't touch the hem of her garment. So I just think
even if you can hit a note higher, you don't have the musicality she has.
I feel like we put so much pressure on people to sound and to stay in the box that we have imagined them to be in, where it's like, if they don't hit every note that I've heard on the radio, then they're a failure, they're a flop, and like everything's gone to shit. And for me, it's like, they've done so much for us. Those like Whitney, Mariah, Celine, the girls back in the day were fucking singing. And it's like, if they have to change the key, just be happy that you're in their presence, Carrie. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't like that she's anti-vax and like those comments. I didn't like this just because it felt like someone who had not aged yet. Like at some point, you will be the old person, and someone will say that when you're up there singing Before He Cheats in like alto range. Mm. You know, it's just gonna happen.
Well, I mean, that's 100% a fact. Even if you're not a singer, the human voice deteriorates.
Period.
Over time. Like it changes and it's different. That doesn't make it work. Like it can add special colors and timbres to the voice, which like, you know, like Mariah now has like such a beautiful timbre, like when she records, and it's gorgeous, and which like she didn't have when she was a much younger age, because I mean, well, she's still young, but when she didn't have some time ago, because like she was a child then, you know, so just things naturally change. I watched a wonderful video by where it was Christy Whitehead, who was a dancer on Broadway. She was in the revival of A Chorus Line, and she's talking to young dancers, and she's like, there's a line in What I Did for Love in a Chorus Line that says, the gift was ours to borrow, meaning like, you know, your body changes with time, and so like your dancing will change with time. And she's like, I do not dance like how I danced 10 years ago.
Right.
I dance like myself now, which I love. I dance like me, and I love how I dance now, but I don't dance like how I did 10 years ago. And 10 years from now, you won't dance the same way you danced 10 years ago, but you will dance as you then, which is still just as worth something, you know?
Totally.
And another thing I have to say about this, about singers specifically, is it is their song. And they can do whatever the fuck they want to do with that arrangement. Yeah, it's not on Broadway. Like there is some because the composers write in a specific key, and that is part of the writing. And sometimes you shouldn't change that. I mean, depending on if it's like a big star going in, like sure, change the key, but like to sell tickets and everything. But like it was written a specific way for a reason. So that is the actual writer that's separate from the performer performing it. Yes. But when it is Mariah Carey singing Mariah Carey's music, she can do a piano arrangement. She can do a jazz arrangement.
Right.
She can do an arrangement in, Farsi or something, and she can sing it in whatever key she wants because that is her. So like that is whatever singer it is, that is their song. They can do whatever they want to do with it. Sing it 12 octaves down. Who cares?
I just
you
feel
are
like,
the artist.
like you said, it's like our bodies are always going to change, and it's going to be at what it is in your peak time. It's going to be like that. But like it's like Britney dancing. It's like Gaga dancing. It's like everyone's artistry is going to evolve with them as a person. We all have to grow. Our bodies are going to change, and our artistry is still alive. And even if you have to change the key, write songs lower, whatever the fuck, you're still sharing your art, and that's what is important. You're not only valid when you're young. You know what I mean? Like, that's the long and short of it.
I mean, we've been making these videos for almost a decade, and baby, they are in their prime now.
Yes, it's true.
And they're just going to get even better.
Hello?
So please like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. Everything's going to turn into promo. I love that. Okay, is there one more? Oh, I just need to say, I feel like I'm just going to end every fucking, well, before your Patty thing. Kanye West is a bigot. Do not buy things from Kanye West. Do not stream his music. Like, did you see the 405 thing?
Yes.
The people hanging the signs over? He's disgusting. Balenciaga has cut ties with him. Pressure Adidas to cut ties with him. This person is dangerous. Don't ever listen to a podcast in which he is a guest. This person is a horrible person that's spewing like venom into the world, and the world is getting sicker and having a platform to stand on because of it. Kanye's disgusting. Even if he has mental health challenges, that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a bigot, and we should be paying no attention to him. He should be cut off from every person in the world. Like, he is a disease. No. Okay? That's it.
Okay. Well, Patti LuPone.
Yes.
This is kind of a long story, so wish us the best.
Yes.
We should have prepped this.
You should have prepped this. I didn't know what the story was.
So, okay. Rewind maybe 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago.
Okay.
There was something that happened at Hadestown. Lilius White, who is a performer in Hadestown, I guess called out a girl in the front row who was using her cell phone. And by calling out, I think she just sort of like made note of her, just like been like, hey, I see ya. No one really knows exactly what happened.
Right.
It turns out that this young woman using her phone was not recording anything, which Lilius White thought she was doing. She was, I believe, partially deaf and partially blind. So she was using an app on her phone that gave closed captions.
That's great.
And so Lilius White did not know this. Lilius White apologized and was like, oh, I didn't know. And proceeded to say, and then Lilius White got a lot of hate online saying like, how dare you go after this girl live on stage in front of the 1,000 people that are in the audience and everything. Lilius White was like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. And proceeded to say, well, it was the house's responsibility, the house manager's responsibility to tell the actors there will be someone in the front row who needs to use this device so that we know and everything. So then Lilius White got even more hate saying that it's not right for, a person who might have these issues to have it be exposed to everyone. Like it's a privacy issue and everything. So it's a very nuanced discussion, and it's very hard to figure out what the right solution is. So Lilius White got a lot of flack by people and got a lot of horrible private messages from people being like, you are ableist, you are horrible, how dare you, fuck you, and everything. Like really horrible things. So that was going on for a couple days. Then a couple days later, the narrative aligned. People were saying like, well, wait a minute. How come when Lilius White calls someone out in the live on stage, she gets flack, but yet Patti LuPone is celebrated for it? And so people were like, that's not fair. Like, why are we attacking the black woman?
I was going to say Lilius White is black.
Yes. And why are we attacking the black woman when this white woman, Patti LuPone, can get away with it? And she's like lauded as this diva and everything. And so then people were mad about that and everything. It was a huge, crazy domino effect that spiraled into craziness. And so Patti LuPone this week just tweeted, quite a week on Broadway.
Sorry.
seeing my name being bandied about. Gave up my equity card. No longer a part of that circus. Figure it out. And so everyone was like, wait a minute. So all of this scandal is now like somehow revealing that Patti LuPone has quit the actors union, the stage actors union. So everyone was like, wait a minute, is Patti LuPone like retiring? Is she giving up the stage? Like everyone was in full-fledged panic. And so Patti LuPone gave a couple more interviews where she was just like, I don't feel like the union is doing like much to help me. And also she's like, I'm getting a little older and I'm not going to be on stage as frequently.
Okay.
But I can still perform on like a guest contract and everything. And then she went on to talk about how she feels like Broadway has been a little Vegas-ified, and at first she was like, they're dumbing down the audience. And then I think she caught herself and was like, that doesn't sound great. Like, not because the audience is still very smart.
Right.
But it's just that Broadway isn't giving space for like new creative art to flourish. And she's like, it's a place where plays cannot have long runs, which is very true and very much a shame. And she's like, so I'm not happy with the direction that, professional theater is going in. And so I've just decided to leave the union, and they told me if I leave, then I would have to like reapply and everything. And it's like, you're gonna make Patti LuPone reapply,
Honestly.
but whatever. And so she was just like, well, fuck you, I'm leaving the union. But like also, and so everyone was arguing about Patti LuPone saying like, how dare she quit the union because they're like, she's probably just rich and she doesn't want to like pay for other people's healthcare and everything. And it's kind of just like, well, guys, like, it's Patty's expense.
Yeah.
If she knows like she's not going to be on stage like as much as she like was in the past, like she's like, I'm going to cut this expense, guys. Like she's an adult. She can do whatever she wants with her money. Like you can't force someone to maintain a membership of something if they don't feel like they're going to get as much out of the membership as they used to.
Right.
So that was just a huge thing. It's like, is Patti retiring? Is she not retiring? What does this mean? But what about Lilias White? But what about this? It's like, it was just pure chaos.
Your Twitter looks completely different than mine, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm sure it does.
I have not seen the words Patti LuPone.
That's
my
crazy.
entire feed since we sat here to do the podcast. Not once.
Wow, but yet you still got all those Big Brother tweets on your thread.
I have so much J-Lo content.
I'm still getting J-Lo content.
The only thing I see.
Guys, look, I am the biggest Big Brother fan ever, but like, I'm tired of hearing about them. Like, I'm so happy for them. I love Taylor. I love her new boyfriend, Joseph. They're a wonderful couple. I was rooting for them. They're adorable. But
Are they for real dating?
They're like...
the thing is, I want them to confirm it, and then I can just like let it be.
It's like they're dropping like the little subtle Taylor like
I was going to say, this is a Taylor move.
Yes, they're very much doing that. Taylor. Like, everyone named Taylor is a mastermind. That's just a fact, I guess.
We learned.
But I'm just like, guys, the season's over. We need to move on from like, I hope they live happy lives. I can't wait to see them on a season when they come back as like returnees or
and
whatever.
I hope Taylor gets a job on like Entertainment Tonight or something.
Oh,
she's
she'd
gorgeous.
be
She'd
amazing.
be great. But yes, even though I like the idea of them being together, I see it too much. Even I somehow just sitting next to you see it too much. So
yeah, I mean, I guess we're also not people who like hardcore like ship people.
No,
like we're kind of just like, oh, people are together. Hope they're
the
happy.
women are happy.
I hope the men treat them right and buy them nice things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is there any other news for idiots you'd like to share with the people?
I don't think so, guys.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more Two Gay Mats, the podcast.
We'll be back. Stay tuned. We're back.
We're back, y'all.
What a restful time it was.
It was so restful. I took a nap.
You did, you?
I did.
Oh, you don't. You look about the same. You don't look as well rested as I do.
What part of the podcast are we in, Matt Steele?
We're on Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, spelled TWO, or if you are watching this video on YouTube, you can comment below a question and it might get read on the air. Who knows?
Maybe might.
So the first question Lord, I was not prepared for this.
Do you want me to start? I have my
Oh, yeah,
question
you
ready.
start with yours.
Yes, because someone reached out to me directly, which was nice. Okay, this is coming from Katie. Hi, Matt. I love your podcast. I was going to email it into email my heart, but I figured I would just slide into your DMs. My husband and I want to get a video game system. You always talk about how much fun you have at parties or with other people playing, and I wonder if you could give me some console and game recs. I would like a virtual reality component too for exercise, maybe. Let me know what you got if you have the time. Thanks. I'm a Switch boy. I'm a Nintendo person. I love lots of party games with that. There's honestly a Switch version of Monopoly, which is very long but very fun. As someone who was never super into like the board game Monopoly, it has really fun graphics. It's like the trading is much easier. I don't know. I just would recommend the Monopoly on Switch. I also am a big Mario Party person, and I think Mario Party All-Stars is the best Mario Party of them all for Switch. And because you don't have to just use the like half remote thing that you have to use for the Mario Party that was made directly for Switch. So Mario Party All-Stars would be my recommendation. I think they do have like an exercisey workout game. I need to look up the name of it. I haven't played it, but it does look fun, and I'm always curious to play it. And I'm like, that would be so much money to get all the other parts with it. But then you get to exercise while playing a Switch, which amazing. And then lastly, for virtual reality specifically, I've played the Oculus a couple of times, which I think is actually a Facebook system, which is like everyone's making a fucking video game system. But the Oculus is great and really fun. And I remember playing Beat Saber, which is essentially like what are the kind of like what was the drumming game? Remember the Garage Band? Is that what it was
that
for
sounds right.
Nintendo? Okay,
Sure.
It's basically that, but a virtual reality, and you have like the drumsticks in your hand, and you have to like slice with a blade. The box is on beat. It's very fun, and it took me a second to get the hang of it, but I'd recommend the Oculus and the Switch in those games.
That stuff like virtual reality freaks me. I will never put a thing on my head.
Why?
And never.
It's fun.
No, never. I do not want to feel like I'm immersed in like this world. Never, ever, ever.
Even if it's not a scary world, like it's not like
no,
there's.
I don't want it.
Why?
I don't want it. Available now.
Available now. Why?
Because it's creepy and you don't know what's happening around you. But also this you know why I'm afraid of outer space probably because of planetariums and like looking like they would like have you like look up and like it would just be all encompassing and like you couldn't see in your periphery.
But
like,
it's like
the
beautiful.
world around you. No,
it's like you see the stars, you see light. It's like seeing the game everywhere you look is a different part of the game.
I don't want it. I want to see the beauty like in front of me, but also have the regular world in my periphery so I can have some context. I think the beauty is in the context in knowing like, yes, this piece of art that is in the world that I am in.
I feel like, and we'll see how it goes, how life goes. Things are moving in a VR direction, babe. Like I think they're
you
going
think
to
I'm
be.
ever gonna play a video?
Whether
like,
it's, I think
in
there's
the
going to be
future?
different forms of art that you are going to be missing out on if you don't get over this hump. So you should start working that out now, internally or with a professional.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if there's like a theater that is suddenly an Oculus,
Yes.
I hope Patti LuPone rejoins the union.
You know she will.
To do all that and everything, and they pay her a buttload of money.
You know they will.
So another question comes to us from Taylor. Oh no.
Oh.
Taylor Swift, Taylor. From Big Brother.
So many
or
Taylors, so little time.
Probably another Taylor. This Taylor's also probably a mastermind because they all are. Leaking to the max. Email my heart. Hey, Matt, coming from another Taylor. Hope that Midnights is everything we hoped for lyrically and sonically. Writing this email on Wednesday, so fingers crossed. This week, it was reported that Ava Max's new album, Diamonds and Dance Floors, has leaked almost 3 months ahead of schedule. Wow.
Sucks.
She even came on social media like Dua Lipa and talked to fans about the unfortunate news. It was apparently all due to an accidental shipment of vinyls to fans who pre-ordered. It was supposed to be released later this month, but due to other artists, aka Taylor Swift, fans think she moved it to avoid all the streaming conflicts. R.I.P. Carly Rae's The Loneliest Time, still coming out on Friday. I'll talk about that album too at some point.
It's out.
Matt Palmer, for someone who lives into the world of music, do you think it's smart to just release the album earlier now that it's leaked in full or keep it on schedule? I'm also hearing from Twitter peeps about the album that the album is future nostalgia 2.0 with no skips bops. With no skip bops. Thoughts on what she should do and thoughts on leak culture in general.
She literally has to release it as soon as possible because I mean, she's still a newish artist. She has a very, vocal fan base, but to have those people be excited and keep that level of intensity of excitement for this album and not listen to the leak for 3 months.
3 months is crazy.
Knowing that people, like that it's out and available in the world, you have to put it out.
I wonder, because it was like an accidental shipping thing, like, do you think there's like a lawsuit that can happen?
But it's like, no, it's not like it's shipped from a record store. It's shipped from her website. Like, it's like her label, her website. They had pre-ordered these vinyls when like the release day was the 21st. It's not like you could blame Amazon for this. Who'd they sue them? Themselves? They did this. This is Ava Max, by the way, if you were confused. And so my thought is, if I were her, I'd want the album out and available to be streamed, if nothing else, as soon as possible. I feel like that's the only way that you can kind of keep the momentum alive. Because this is just like such a big snafu. The music is out there in a way that's kind of legal, and then it got leaked because like there's no way it wasn't going to get leaked. I don't know. I just think there's no way around it at this point. Put it out as soon as possible. I get wanting to move your date because of Taylor, but I don't know if it needed to be 3 months in the first place. And B, someone should have thought about the vinyls. It's not Ava's fault. She's busy getting her hair balanced or whatever. So that shouldn't be on her plate, but someone should have thought about the vinyl. It's just a very big snafu that I would be furious about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel for her.
I maybe like play up the whole like mess of it all and just be like, LOL guys, and try to like make it more of a media known thing to the world and everything, being like, this happened, and I'm so upset about it. So please buy it. Like,
and it's available now on streaming.
Now. So maybe that'll get more people being like, what is this album? Because apparently it's great according to people who know.
That's good.
So people who have the vinyls, I guess.
I know, right?
So yeah, I agree with you. They get a really smart marketing person,
right,
to be like, do it this way.
All right. Do you want to do another email, or do you want to jump into?
We can do another email just because it's really quick.
Okay, let's hear it.
This one's from Durga.
Hey, Durga.
Funny girl. Dear Matt, I really hope you get this because I'm sending it in an hour or two before the recording. She really did. Matt Steele, be proud of me because I watched the Funny Girl movie on Netflix yesterday and loved it. Oh my God. The music, the dramatics, just stunning. Do the both of you have any other classic movie recommendations from me that are on Netflix or Prime? Big hugs and a very happy Diwali.
Oh, happy Diwali to you too.
Classic movies do you love, Matt Palmer?
None. Matt Steele.
I mean,
what about you?
I mean, the thing that stumps me about this question is the on Netflix or Prime thing, because I don't know if these movies are on Netflix or Prime, but my favorite, by classic, I'm assuming like pre-1960 is what I'm considering like a classic in the sense that she is. My favorites are Auntie Mame. To me is like the greatest comedy, like pre-1990 ever. Like, it is the funniest movie. It's brilliant. Rosalind Russell is so genius in it. So if that is on Netflix or Prime, please watch it. If it's not, girl, buy it. It is worth every single penny. Obviously, I'm a huge fan about All About Eve. I did a semi-adaptation movie about it. Devo is available now.
Yes.
That's like basically the story. So yeah, I would say those are my two favorites as far as classic movies go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Steele, I have one more question for you.
Yes, Matt Palmer.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
I told you I went to the cinema again.
I heard that.
So I saw 2 movies.
Okay.
One of them I saw is a South Korean film called Decision to Leave. It is directed by Park Chan-wook, and it is like a very stylized, like sexy, a little scary, a little funny, like crime romance thriller about this detective, and someone suspiciously fell off of a mountain, and people are suspecting the wife, but then the detective sort of like starts to fall in love with the wife. And the way it is directed is so brilliant. The transitions, like, it is so creative how everything is done. Like, visually, it is so interesting, and I was like so just wowed by everything visually I was seeing on the screen, and just like the story's like really captivating, and I really enjoyed it. If you can, it's not at many theaters, I don't believe, but if you can somehow catch it, please do. It's called Decision to Leave. But I also saw the movie Till the day before. Danielle Deadwyler is so phenomenal in this movie. It obviously is a movie about the story of Emmett Till's mother, Mamie. Emmett Till was a young boy who went from Chicago to Mississippi to visit his cousins back in 1955, and I like whistled at a white woman in a store in Mississippi, her horrible people who were her family and friends or whatever came and did horrible things to Emmett Till and killed him, and his body was severely disfigured. And Mamie Till famously had the funeral be an open casket funeral so that there would be press, so that the pictures of her son would be broadcast to the country, because before this, like, if something like this happened, if there were lynchings or stuff like that, like, people didn't know about it because there weren't the visuals, there weren't pictures of it and everything. But Mamie Till was just like, everyone will see what happened to my son, because he wasn't just my son, he was everyone's son. And what happens to one of us happens to us all, and everyone needs to be aware of this, white, black, everything. And it was just, and just like the strength that this woman had obviously just goes without saying. And it's really surprising that a movie based on this event, like a major Hollywood motion picture based on this event, like didn't happen until just recently, because it was such a monumental moment in this, like during the civil rights movement, that like kickstarted the civil rights movement essentially. But I'm so glad that it's out now, because I cannot think of a better person to play this role than Danielle Deadwyler. She has this scene. She has a number of amazing scenes. Obviously, like some of the scenes are just like so gut wrenching. They're just like so hard to watch. But there's one scene in particular that is all in one take, and it is when she is in the court and she is being interviewed by both sides, the prosecution and the defense. And the range of emotions that she goes through in this like 2.5, 3 minute scene is just spellbinding. And I can't even begin to describe how well acted this scene is.
Wow.
She, like the strength that she portrays in this scene, and just the rage that she has, that she knows that she has to contain, is just, I was like clutching my armchair the whole time, just because the movie is like so devastating and everything. But a great thing about it that the director said is she was very much like, I don't want to show any violence towards for black bodies in this movie whatsoever, so you don't see anything of the murder of this poor young boy. And she's like, she was like, that was one rule I had, that there will be no like visual violence in this movie, because we're tired of seeing it. Yes. And also this movie will begin and end with joy. So it begins and ends on two like very joyful, lovely, beautiful notes. So it's obviously a very important movie for people to see. And I think a great movie for, teachers to show their students. I mean, I remember hearing about the story throughout, my, elementary and middle and high school education, like several times and everything. But, kids do love movies in school, and it helps you learn and everything. So this movie is just fantastic in all regards. Everyone should see it. It's so important. And Whoopi Goldberg's great in it too.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you told me the news about the, it not having the violence in it, and that it begins and ends with the joy, because that was going to be hard for me. As you were describing it, as amazing as those scenes sounded, I was like, I will not be watching this.
It's devastating.
Don't know that I can, but if it's, I feel like maybe I could wrap my head around it. I'm sure it would still be very tough, but I love that she's a brilliant actor. Do you think she's going to win Best Actress, get the nomination?
I mean, as I said weeks before, and as I will say weeks from now, Best Actress is going to be a bloodbath.
Wow.
There's just so many people in the running, and they're all amazing. So who knows? I mean, but I'm just glad that like she has this platform now. She gives this so that she will have amazing roles in the future. Because fuck, she is good. I love that. So this scene, I can't get this scene out of my mind. I could watch it over and over again. She is so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, I didn't really consume much new content besides Taylor Swift's Midnights, which we have talked about enough. But I do just want to say to anyone who has consumed the podcast or watched our reaction video or watched the TikTok reaction of Antihero, which now has like 350,000 views or something.
Oh, I just checked. It's like up to 400,000.
I want to say thank you. As much fun as we, of course, have on camera and, on the podcast every week, it's a lot of work, especially these like long form album reaction things. So people finding us and becoming, getting interested in us and wanting to know more about what we do and like the content we put out into the world is very reassuring that we're on the right track. Again, Matt Steele has mentioned, we've been doing this for a long time, and it feels like weirdly just now we're like hitting our stride. I've said that several times, but it
Yeah.
does feel true. So as much work as it was, even though it was like bookended with me like resting a lot on Friday and resting a lot on Sunday, it takes a lot out of you. And so the fact that it's being received so well and people are excited to learn more about us makes it all worth it. So just thank you. I'm going to end with a on a thankful note. Kelly Clarkson and her chunky hair would be so proud of me in 2012 because I'm thankful. For the blessings.
Baby, you better get your rest because you've worked hard this week editing that video.
I really have.
Take your rest and then listen to Carly Rae's album.
It
is very good.
I will listen to The Loneliest Time, but I really didn't get around to it this week.
Carly, it took 4 albums. But Carly Rae has finally released a ballad called Go Find Yourself or whatever.
Is it nice?
It's so good. It's kind of country-ish. It's so good. It's my favorite on the album.
Wow.
I also love the title track, which is kind of like a disco number.
Yes.
I really like Bad Thing Twice is really good. I like the opening track. And the pre-release that she released. What's it called? Talking to Yourself.
Is good.
When I first listened to it, I was kind of like, oh, this is nice. But then listening to it in the context of the album, I was like, oh, fuck. This is great.
All
like
right.
I love this. So yeah, those are my favorites on The Loneliest Time. Matt Palmer.
I will listen.
Give it a listen.
I will give it a listen. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Is there anything else you need to tell the people?
That we love you all. Thank you all to all the new people.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, we love you all. We'll talk to you this time next week. And everybody have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.